Good afternoon, everyone. Let's try that again. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for coming out on this day to honor our veterans. When you ask, have you ever been in the service? Everyone knows what you mean. That means, are you a veteran? Did you serve in the United States Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine Corps, Coast Guard? But the key word here is veteran. This service is the product of a blank check made out to the government that obligates those men and women in our armed services to serve with all their will and might, to sacrifice their time, energy, and skill in the service of their country, up to and including risking and endangering their very lives. Some never come home. And war is not like what you see in the movies, nor are all servicemen and women on the front line. The front line requires a huge support structure that includes pilots, mechanics, truck drivers, cooks, technicians of every sort, and a host of specialties. Without them, we couldn't have a front line. But these men and women also risk their lives. And to our veterans who served in time of peace, they stand ready to respond to the emergency at very short notice. Alexander Pope, the English poet, said, "They also serve who stand and wait." The service of Americans' veterans never truly ends. Even when they hang up their uniforms for the last time, many choose to still protect us. The Department of Justice estimates that 25% of law enforcement officers have a military background. Today we honor all the men and women who served in the U.S. military, and there are about 19 million U.S. veterans alive today, and millions of others who have preceded them since the American Revolution. This day is about the approximately 19 million U.S. veterans who are still alive with us today, and those millions who have preceded them. And many serve their communities as first responders, teachers, healthcare workers, and church leaders. Some are business owners, farmers, company workers, or retirees. And veterans are a diverse group represented by men and women of every economic, ethnic, and religious background. They come from every state, territory, but are bound by one common commitment: to defend America with their life if called upon. From fighting terrorism and defeating fascism, veterans have a record of remarkable accomplishment throughout our nation's history. And military service is not for the faint of heart. Most civilian jobs do not require the risk of life or limb. No other occupation subjects employees to criminal charges for disobeying their boss. Unlike members of the military, civilians can live where they want and can quit whenever they want. And not all veterans come home without experiencing some sort of physical or mental trauma. The transitional challenges, moving around, the stress of military life, feelings of isolation, all factor into a suicide rate among veterans that is more than 50% higher than that of non-veteran adults. The stigma of seeking help needs to end. If we're going to stop suicide, it's crucial that we look at this issue more differently than prior generations have. If we wait for someone to make an attempt before we reach out, there's a very good chance it'll be too late. Veterans value courage, and it takes courage to ask for help. But we must be proactive. We must ask and encourage veterans to seek help before they pass a point of no return. The bonds that were formed in the military are unlike any other. And a good American Legion post, similar to the one a block and a half that way, fosters an environment that helps continue such bonds and create new ones. Very few of us are trained counselors or mental health professionals, but we are capable of listening, referring, and following up. The National Crisis Hotline still works, but now there's even a shorter number. It's 988 extension 1 for veterans. Most kindergartners know that what 911 stands for. It's up to us to ensure that 988 becomes just as widely known. By calling 988 now, we can prevent a 911 call later. For more information on this, you can go to the American Legion website, betheone.org. You can visit it, anyone can visit it, and learn from it and spread the word about it. Homelessness is another tragic outcome that is too often connected to military service. It's estimated that America has 60,000 veterans who are homeless. That is greater than the entire population of Carson City, Nevada. And closer to home, that's more than twice the size of Winchester, Virginia. Though veterans comprise only 7% of the US population, they are 11% of our nation's homeless. The best way to prevent a veteran from becoming homeless is to hire one. It's not only good policy, but it's smart business for any employer who values skill, discipline, and patriotism. Veterans now and in the past have preserved and protected our constitutional rights for 246 years. 104 years ago, on November 11th, 1918, the World War I ended. The guns were silent. Unfortunately, it was not the war to end all wars, as many had hoped. Veterans are not only responsible for defending this nation during time of war, but it is the imposing presence of our great military that has acted as a deterrent to would-be aggressors. They are peacemakers in the truest sense of the word. The veterans of the United States military have not only fought wars, they deserve our gratitude for preventing them. And while we rejoice and honor the service of American veterans, we also remember the wise words of General Douglas MacArthur. Quote, "The soldier above all people prays for peace," unquote. God bless you all for being here. God bless our veterans, and God bless the United States.